when someone is going to school, they're not supposed to go to school for the sake of going to school. They should have their end in mind. For instance, if someone wants to be a doctor, they should specialize in that area so that eventually they achieve that. But I value integrity because in the environment that we are, there are a lot of issues to do with integrity. I would say with hard work, you will never go wrong.
Welcome to Scholastica, a podcast broadcasting live from ZITF. I am Ngozi Kumalo, and I'm so excited to bring you this episode today. We have someone from PRAZ who is an award-winning scholar. She is someone who is the training manager there. She possesses a master's in business administration. She also possesses another master's in science in purchasing and supply chain management. It's such a mouthful, but yeah, let me allow her to introduce herself. Welcome, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this platform. My name is Enia Kagodo. It's already said I'm the training manager at the Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe. That's PRAZ.
We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. So I'll start off with an icebreaker. Since you're such an academic, I'd love to know what kind of student you were. Were you a backbencher, a front row person? Like, what kind of student were you during your learning days?
That's an icebreaker for sure. During my learning days, I was, quite a serious student. Not a backbencher, not someone in between. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. And did you ever visualize that you would be in procurement, or this was something that came along the way?
It's something that came along the way, but I envisioned myself being someone who would be a finance expert. But what happened is I then blended that finance management knowledge with procurement, and here I am, and it blends so well.
I love that. For those who may be wondering what PRAZ is, it is the Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What PRAZ is all about?
PRAZ is a regulator of procurement. What it simply means that there is public procurement, which means acquisition of goods and services by public sector entities from the private sector. These are usually goods and services that are needed to be used by public sector entities to enhance service delivery. So PRAZ is now coming in to regulate how that acquisition of goods and services is done.
Okay. Yes. For those who may not know what procurement is, please tell us in the simplest way, as simply as possible. Yeah.
In the simplest form, procurement is simply acquisition of goods and services by public sector entities from the private sector. That's how simple I can put it. Yeah.
Okay. So for someone who may be looking to have a career in procurement, what kind of skills do you think they should possess for students in varsity or maybe high school students?
Yeah, for someone to have a career in procurement, it begins, I usually say it has to begin with the end in mind. What is it that you want to achieve at the end of the day? When someone is going to school, they're not supposed to go to school for the sake of going to school. They should have their end in mind. For instance, if someone wants to be a doctor, they should specialize in that area so that eventually they achieve that. So if someone wants to be a procurement expert, again, they should follow that path and go to study courses that are aligned to public procurement, and eventually they will become public procurement experts.
Okay. What career paths are available in procurement?
When it comes to procurement, like I said, every public sector entity is involved in service delivery. And for them to be able to deliver services to the public, they need resources. When it comes to those resources, the material resource aspect especially, this is where procurement comes in. So every public sector entity needs a procurement expert to acquire those goods and services that I mentioned earlier on for service delivery. So there are opportunities in the public sector when it comes to public procurement. Yes.
Okay. What is e-learning in procurement, and how is PRAZ using it to reach and train more people?
E-learning is where learners can actually learn while interacting with a platform where there are no, tutors. For example, it's online learning mainly. So as PRAZ, we have an e-learning platform that is available to the public, and it's available to anyone who feels that they want to acquire more knowledge when it comes to public procurement. And it's a free platform where someone can actually register. Then after registration, they choose courses to do that are there. And the courses that are there are public law sensitization, where someone can actually familiarize themselves with the rules and regulations when it comes to public procurement. Then also issues to do with the documents that are used in public procurement. Again, there is such information. So for someone who wants to enhance their knowledge in procurement, they can go to that learning platform and acquire more knowledge. The beauty about it is that platform is a self-paced learning platform where someone can log in during their own time without supervision. So again, it's something that requires discipline for someone who really wants to learn. The beauty about this platform is when someone is done the courses that are there, they can download the certificate as evidence that they actually attended such a course, though it's an online course. So the certificate again is downloadable online once the course has been finished. That's the beauty of the e-learning platform, and you have it. Do you want to give me the address of the e-learning platform? It's elearning.praz.org.zw, and it's free. It's accessible to anyone as long as you can put the credentials that are needed there. It's accessible to anyone.
Okay, so this sounds very serious, but what does a typical day of a person in procurement look like?
Yeah, a typical day of a person in procurement, like I said, it's all about acquisition of goods and services. But of course, it depends on the level that one is. But you'd see it's more to do with acquiring goods and services. So it may have to do with interacting with user departments, because eventually the one that uses the goods and services is not the procurement department, but it's the user department. So there is need now to follow the procurement cycle and interact with all users at each and every stage of the procurement cycle. Like I said, it depends on one's role. For others, it may be strategic thinking on how to link strategic goals with the procurement processes and see how best strategic goals can be achieved. Then for other roles, it may be sourcing the goods and services. Then for other roles, it may be planning how to acquire those goods and services. So it's dependent on one's role in the procurement process. But basically, it's something that is quite busy. Once someone is involved in procurement, someone has to think on their feet, especially in this environment that we are in.
As the training manager, what does your day look like? What do you do mostly on a day-to-day basis?
As a training manager, usually my job is not that much, can I say, complicated. It's about knowledge sharing. It's something that I am also passionate about. Like I always say, we learn every day. So wherever I am, I make sure that someone learn one or two things from me. So basically, that's my day. As long as people are acquiring knowledge, skills, attitudes that are relevant to their jobs, that's my day.
Okay. I know that work environment can be very difficult to be in on a day-to-day basis. So what values keep you grounded?
Yeah, when it comes to values, when it comes to values, it's something that people have to acquire at a very young age. But I value integrity, because in the environment that we are, there are a lot of issues to do with integrity. There are also lots of issues to do with accountability. There are also a lot to do with issues of ethics. Again, it's something that one needs to look at because like I said, public procurement is all about public sector entities, and our clients mainly are public sector clients and the public that we serve again. So it requires a lot of due diligence, a lot of integrity, a lot of accountability, and also a lot of ethical issues when it comes to dealing with members of the public.
Okay. What misconceptions are there within the procurement space that you would love to break?
Yeah, within the procurement space, especially the moment one mentions that they are coming from PRAZ, it's associated with tenders. And when there are issues to do with tenders, issues of corruption are also coming in. So what we have done as PRAZ to enhance accountability value that I talked about is we have introduced the Electronic Government Procurement platform, where issues to do with purchasing, procurement are done on a platform that everyone has an opportunity to see how things are done, to enhance accountability, also to enhance transparency of how procurement processes are done, to avoid a situation whereby people will say someone gets a tender and it was done in a manner that is not consistent with rules and regulations. So that platform has been put in place to enhance transparency as well as accountability. Why so? Because when it comes to resource usage, issues to do with procurement are embedded on public funds. So at the end of it all, there are various stakeholders who are looking at how those funds are used. So to enhance transparency and accountability in the use of public funds, we have introduced that Electronic Government Procurement platform, which is accessible to everyone who feels that they have the capacity to challenge procurement processes, to see how procurement processes are done. Those are available on the EGP platform. And the address to that platform is egp.praz.org.zw, and it's accessible to anyone. Any member of the public can access that platform, just like the e-learning platform that I mentioned earlier on. That's how transparent we are as a regulator.
Okay. If you were to encourage students who would want to be a part of procurement, what word of encouragement would you give?
Like I said earlier on, if it begins with one's intentions. If one wants to serve the public, because it's all about service delivery, then they can take that route. And there are courses that are offered by our learning institutions, our tertiary institutions. When it comes to supply chain management, there are various courses that one can take so that they can be part of procurement. Part of procurement processes either in the private sector or in the public sector, but I'm coming from the public sector, and there are lots of opportunities that are there. So with the introduction of PRAZ, again, if I can mention it, when the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act was enacted, it created procurement management units, which were not there before, but this is more like a buying department within a public sector entity. So with the introduction of that act, a lot of employment opportunities were created within the public sector by the creation of those procurement management units. In addition to that, there are also opportunities for those who are studying supply chain management courses in those PMUs. They can be engaged either as students on attachment to enhance their learning, their learning experiences, as well as get work experience. Then also most public entities are also engaging those who are coming from universities, graduates, as graduate trainees. Again, there are such opportunities as well. Then those who are lucky enough are engaged outright for employment opportunities within the public sector. That's the beauty of public procurement.
Thank you so much for touching on that, because I was about to ask you whether there are opportunities for internships, attachees, and graduates.
There are lots of them. A lot of people's lives is actually been enhanced with the introduction of the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act through creation of those PMUs, and many have actually benefited from such opportunities.
All right, please finish this sentence for me. My hope for Zimbabwean youth is
to be more focused, to have the end in mind, and to work towards their goals. And I would say with hard work, you will never go wrong.
I love that. So we have the Scholastica coming up on the 30th of July to the 1st of August. Can we look forward to having PRAZ there?
If you go through the necessary engagements, I hope you'll get someone, a PRAZ official, to be part of your conference. Okay. Because this is a very good initiative, and I don't think PRAZ will object to that. Yeah.
Yes, Scholastica is coming up on the 30th of July to the 1st of August. We invite you to come. It's going to be amazing. You're going to meet all these wonderful professionals face to face and engage with them. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to the young minds.
Yes, thank you very much. And please go and shine. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Ngozi Khumalo. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you and keep the conversation going. Bye for today.